Okay, so this is the Barbour Jacket that we're going to be re-waxing today. It's a Barbour coat purchased in London in one of those thrift shops. It's really common in the UK to go to thrift stores and see a ton of these because of all the British farmers who wear these just as like utilitarian work coats. The first step to really get the thrift store funk out is to hose this off and leave it outside to air dry. You don't want to use a harsh detergent because it could eat away at the actual waxed finish. And then the next step is once it's air dried, you can see I even put some newspaper in the pockets to really absorb all the moisture. So we did that about a week ago. It's very air dry now. And we have our Barbour finishing wax that we're going to be heating up on the stove. But before you get started, you're going to want to leave this outside in the warm temperature, because what that does is it opens up the fibers in the fabric and makes them receptive to receiving the wax. So first, just leave it outside, somewhere sunny. I'd say leave it there for about a half an hour, and then once the fabric is warm, we'll take it into the shop and do the re-waxing. So here I am in my workshop. Just going to run you through some of the things you're going to need as you're getting ready to re-wax your Barbour coat. The first thing you're going to need is either a tub of the Barbour brand wax thorn-proof dressing. This will run you between $20 and $30, but they also make cheaper versions which you could get. I just opted to go for the Barbour brand so that it was foolproof. I didn't want to run into any hiccups along the way. The other thing you're going to need is either a sponge or some sort of cloth to spread the wax around. Once the wax heats up, you're going to want to work pretty quickly, and a sponge is a great way to really soak up a lot of the wax and spread it throughout the jacket. The other thing you're going to want is some sort of fabric that you can use to wipe off excess wax as you're putting it on, so make sure you also have either a terry cloth rag or something that is probably going to be one to being disposable, because once you get wax on it, you probably won't want to reuse it for something else. The other thing that Barbour suggests that you do, which I highly recommend, is getting a hair dryer of some sort of blow dryer. What this does is it creates what they call the factory finish. You plug in, and after you coat the coat in wax, you blow dry the area, and what it does is it heats it up and sort of spreads it evenly throughout the jacket. It sort of lets the wax settle, if you will. So let's get started. So I've got water right here that just got off the stove. It was at boiling, and I have my tin of Barbour wax. So what you're going to want to do, take the water off of the stove, and you're going to want to just open up the Barbour wax. And you'll see when you open it, it's pretty solid, and it's too solid to really spread evenly. So what you're going to want to do is lower it in here and just give it some time to melt. 5 minutes or so, come back, give it a little stir, and once it's like a liquid consistency, then you're ready to go. The other thing you're going to want to do is lay your coat out, make sure it's nice and flat, take out all the newspaper and things that you put in the pockets to let it dry. You're going to want to undo all of the buttons and fastenings so that it's easy to get to them and rub the wax in. And you're going to lay it out flat on its back. You can pop the collar up because you're going to get under the collar there as well. And you're going to leave the sleeves out to the sides. Just get the coat ready because you're going to start on the back. You're going to go the whole way on the back and then do the arms. Then you're going to flip the arms over, do them on that side, do the arm, flip it over, do it on this side, and then you're going to flip it over and do the front of the jacket and the inside of the pockets. Another thing to note that you'll see when I do my quick playthrough of doing the wax is that you're going to want to get along the edge and seams of the coat to really ensure that it has a water seal, because that's where water comes in when it's raining. So really pay special attention to the seams. And then you'll see me also using this once I lay the wax down, putting this bad boy on to give it that factory finish. So there you go. We've gotten the back of the jacket done, both sides of the sleeves, and the front of the jacket. As you were viewing that time-lapse video, you may have seen me using the blow dryer, which I know to a lot of people sounds sort of silly, but as you can see, it really affects the surface. You could see how there were areas that were really irregular and glossy, and what the hairdryer does is it makes the wax pool evenly on the surface, and it creates what Barbour says is more of a factory-like finish, and I sort of agree. I think it looks a little less wet, a little bit more matte, and it looks a little bit more professional. So now that this is done, we're going to put this back on a hanger and let it sit to dry over the course of a day in a warm, dry place. So now that it's done, like I said, you want to put it somewhere dry and warm to really let the wax seep into the fabric and relax. Over the course of a day, you're going to come back to it, and then it'll be ready to wear. And as you can see, it looks so much better. It went from looking like a thrift store find. It sort of smelled funky. You know, I washed it down, I re-waxed it, and it looks really great. And you know these things can run to be quite expensive, so this is a great process. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks so much.